Good morning. Today we're vlogging. We're starting our day in a much more normal Saturday fashion than what it has been during the pandemic. And we're actually gonna get loaded up here and we're gonna head over for breakfast at my mother-in-law's house and hang out and have some family time and just have ourselves a good Saturday. Let's do this. Doesn't feel like 31. Must be because of the sun. Cal, are you okay if I talk trash on your mom?
Say not acceptable, sir.
What?
Here, but I'm trying on.
What are you playing?
I'm playing this game with 3D.
Ooh, that's cool. Telling a story?
Yeah, you just feel like chocolate right now.
Out.
These are all your toys at Nani's house.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're gonna drive it? Whoa.
Then get one bag.
You know how to make those car noises really well.
Yeah.
Are your donuts good, bud?
And the way he does it, you just use the last baby thing.
Oh, really?
Like that.
Yep, gravy.
Do it. That's awesome, bud.
Well, Tyler took that on to mean I have to drink everything right now.
Holy cow.
Did you have fun at Nani's?
Yeah.
Did you figure out how to enchant your TNT?
No, I haven't found it. I haven't found it a enchantment TNT yet.
Yeah, I don't know how to do it either. We'll have to do more research.
Okay.
Kyler, your mom thought you were still outside. You guys know what you're doing?
No, we don't.
No.
Today feels like a way more normal Saturday than what we've been having for the last few months, which I think is a good thing, which either that means that we're just adapting, I guess, to the way the world is now, or maybe a sense of normalcy is returning. We had a good time at my mother-in-law's house. We got to catch up, eat some good breakfast. Kyler's down for a snap. Kelsey and Cal are trying to beat the Lego games that we have because Cal wants a new Lego game, and we told him he can't have that Lego game until he beats the 6 others that he has. He's very motivated now. And so that means right now I'm gonna work out. So real quick before I get this workout started, I realize I really haven't been super consistent with vlogging, at least vlogging on kind of a regular basis and putting them out on a regular basis, which, I mean, it's really here nor there because I do this more for myself than really any kind of audience, and for like just documenting our life and our kind of what's happening in our life. But I thought I'd just kind of like share an update because it's been a little while since we talked about this topic. So back in July of this past year, 2020, I accepted a new job, and so one of the things about this job was it requires me to relocate, or requires us, our family, to really relocate to Kansas City, which is good. It's where Kelsey's dad lives, and part of that side of her family is, so we'll be close to them, and that'll be a nice change for her. So it's not really a bad thing. It's just when we took the job, 6 months ago or whatever it is now, it felt sort of surreal to think, oh yeah, eventually we'll have to move. And there's really been no pressure to do that relocation because well, the pandemic and our company's growing and we have a new office space potentially coming online at some point. And so there just really hasn't been much of a focus on forcing me to actually move there, because everyone's still working for the most part remotely. But now kind of our personal clock is forcing our hand a little bit more on that front, because Cal starts school in the fall, this coming fall. And so we'd really like to try to get up there and get settled this spring, have whoa, the wind just knocked down a bucket of toys. Anyways, we thought we would have the spring to settle in, the summer to kind of acclimate, and then get Cal enrolled and get him started in school in the fall. And so now here we are, we know we need to start kind of making some moves on where we're going to stay and where we're going to move to. And so, while today we're starting our weekend here in Joplin, tomorrow we're actually going to head to Kansas City and spend basically the majority of the coming work week up there, because we have an appointment to go look at a possible kind of townhouse / apartment that's really close to Kelsey's dad's house and some of our other family members. So it's not necessarily the biggest place, but it's big enough and it's in a great location. So we're thinking this will likely be the place we end up. So we're going to go up there and look this week, which is just, it's sort of taking that thing that was sort of surreal and making it much more tangible. So it's not a bad thing. We're excited. I don't think either of us are stressed about it. I think we have an anxious feeling, but it's a good anxious feeling, a feeling of excitement, of just wanting to go ahead and do it, get it over with. But we're trying to do the responsible thing and save our money and prepare ourselves financially and emotionally, and just put ourselves in a spot so that when we land, we'll be secure and we'll be prepared. And so that being said, that's why we're kind of slow playing it, right? We're going to identify a place, we're going to secure it, get our deposit down, tie things up here with our landlord here at our current rental, and just have a nice kind of like peaceful, hopefully, move and transition from one physical location to the next. And I'm sure there'll be challenges, but anyways, it is what it is. So I thought I would share. We're excited, but it's coming, and I guess you'll see more of that this week. I'll plan to try to vlog some this week. All right, espresso and then workout. All right, solid workout. It's not over though completely yet. I need to do some cardio, but instead of riding the bike or walking, I think I'm gonna set a timer for 45 minutes and I'm going to clean up this garage, which should be like level 1, maybe slightly touching kind of level 2 cardio. The levels refer to like how high your heart rate is. So yeah, just a creative way that you can get your cardio in and be productive. If you've got something that's gonna keep you moving, keep your heart rate elevated, kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
Looks like it's gapping.
Well, no reason to be delicate with it now. So I got the gym cleaned up, but then when I was doing that, I noticed that one of my car's tires is extremely low on air. So I'm gonna try to drive it up here and put some air in it, and that way I'll be able to get it to a tire place when I need to get it there and it not be completely flat. This car doesn't get driven that much anymore now that I work from home, which is, I mean, I don't know if it's good or if it's bad, it just kind of is. So it's a little bit more of a chore to keep up with it, I guess. But it'll come in handy. It's a good little grocery getter. It's not a nice car at all, but to get you from point A to point B, it'll do, which is about all I really value cars for these days. Cars aren't really something I'm all that into. I guess I wouldn't really ever consider myself a car guy. Quite low, isn't it? I definitely think it has a slow leak of some kind. And then there's also the problem with my door that sticks and doesn't always want to open up. This is definitely not a fancy car. Sure does feel strange to come home and get out of that red car though. Brings back lots of memories. Dad is back.
Why did you say Dad is back?
Cal didn't know.
I love you, buddy. You're a good hugger. Hey, Cal. Did you give your order to Mom?
No, you got my order. It's Chick-Fil-A sandwich and hash browns.
Hash browns? This isn't breakfast time.
Oh.
You mean French fries?
Yeah.
I was told nothing.
You already know.
I ordered you chicken nuggets.
You're gonna make them upset.
Is chicken nuggets okay? I already ordered it.
No, you didn't. Cal, don't let her pull your leg like that. She didn't order you no food yet. Your mom's trying to get at you.
She was doing face at me.
Tell her, hey, stop being sus, bro.
You're sus.
No, I saw a creepy face.
You want a spicy one?
I have been tasked, I have been tasked with leaving the house again to procure Chick-Fil-A for everyone's dinner tonight. And I will readily admit that my family, in my humble opinion, eats out too much. And particularly, we go to Chick-Fil-A way too often to not be sponsored by them. And if I'm being honest about the whole eating out scenario, for a long time, Kelsey and I were a bit conflicted on this point of spending in our budget. Because I myself, while I think eating food out is good, I really don't get as much value from it as maybe she does, or maybe even our kids do. And so for a long time, it was kind of a point of contention. Not because it was like wrecking us monetarily, just because it felt like, wow, that seems like that money could be spent other places and go so much further. Or at least that's how I felt. And in the last probably year and a half, 2 years, through a lot of conversations, obviously, a lot of communication, that's always the key, we've kind of arrived at this mutual place of understanding where, you know, we feel like we should spend our money on things that we value. And Kelsey, you know, she's entitled to spend the money on things that she that she sees value in that I don't. Just like I do that as well. Like I buy a lot of these like gadgets and electronics, and she could argue the same points. It's like, why are we spending money on this stuff that's not really returning a lot? We could spend it somewhere else and get so much more value back. So we just have kind of come to this place of understanding where, you know, if she wants to spend a little bit more money than maybe I would like to on eating out every month or each week, you know, that's her prerogative. And if I want to spend more money than she may think is reasonable on electronics, then, you know, that's fine. And we're always kind of communicating and checking in with one another about like how we feel about where our money situation is and where we think we're losing or winning. And, you know, it's just something that's always in flux, right? Because as people, we're changing a lot. And I don't know, I mention it every now and again, but it really isn't the sore spot it used to be, for us and our family. But it just came to that. It helps to have those conversations though about it, so that you can reach that understanding is like, hey, this person really gets a lot of value out of this particular thing or activity or event. And, you know, if that's the case, well then, you know, spend lavishly there, right? instead of spending on things that you don't value, spend on things you do value, and then tighten up in the areas where you don't get a lot of value. I guess perfect example, I drive a really shitty car, but then again I buy really expensive technology. So, you know, I guess in the most recent years, I've become a little bit of a not necessarily a minimalist or I guess the right word is a valuist, right? Just being very intentional about putting money and putting energy and effort into things that really deliver value and bring a lot back to me. What a random long rant I just went on. Let's go get dinner. And I guess I should also couch everything I just said in the awareness that, you know, for the longest time, being able to decide to spend money on things that we value wasn't a luxury that Kelsey and I had. And, you know, through a lot of diligence and hard work and some luck, we now have that luxury. We have the luxury to say, okay, I want to spend a little bit more money on this thing than is probably absolutely necessary, and it's not gonna break us. That hasn't always been the case, and I totally understand not everyone is as fortunate. So I don't want that whole diatribe to come off like lacking self-awareness and the awareness of other people's circumstances. But just from that's just kind of the way I'm thinking about things these days when it comes to where I spend my money and how much of my money I spend on certain things. Yeah. All right. Now to Chick-Fil-A. I got your French fries.
Don't mind.
I got your Chick-Fil-A.
Don't mind.